Sorry to interrupt the honourable member. His time has expired.
Mr. Speaker.
I call Gareth Hughes.
Kia ora, Mr. Speaker. Ngā mihi nui kia koutou kia ora. Mr. Speaker, one of my proudest moments as a New Zealander was when I was marching with 30,000 other Kiwis. It was great. I was at the front holding the banner down Queen Street. Mr. Speaker, what we and what tens of thousands of New Zealanders were marching for was for a value that we love and we want to protect our environment. It's not something we balance off as the national members say it is. It's a core Kiwi value. We love the environment, we can go tramping or hunting or even just a bushwalk, and we don't want to put it at risk. We're not going to trade it off. In fact, it's the heart of our economy. It has been since time immemorial, and it always will. So, Kiwis stood up. They told the government their plan to mine our most treasured places wasn't on, they weren't going to stand for it, and the government backed down. Rightfully so, and we congratulate the government for backing down. But now they've adopted a different strategy, which my colleague Catherine Delahunty touched on. A slow, methodical, grinding bulldozer approach where using the powers of finances, legislation, regulation, the signals a government minister can put with their speeches and directions to government departments, they're slowly grinding down our treasured places. For what? A strategy which is in tatters, a strategy which never was going to deliver the type of prosperity Kiwis deserve or want. It's a strategy that's a lazy, risky gamble. It's lazy because it hopes that someone else will do the work, someone else will find some oil or gas. There's no vision, there's no plan, there's no method to get there, there's no innovation. It's a gamble because we know that risking our environment risks the rest of our economy. The valuable Clean Green brand, which is valued at over $20 billion, our tourism, our aquaculture, and it's risky because our environment, we don't want to put at risk of deep sea drilling and a massive oil spill or the types of tragedies we've seen. It's a risky, lazy gamble, and the benefits are overstated. We've got the fourth lowest royalty and tax rate in the world. We know there's going to get hardly any jobs for New Zealanders. It's got the lowest job creating potential of any sector of the Taranaki economy. And of course we know when it comes to the likes of deep sea oil drilling or your tag oils, all the profit's going to go overseas. So we think there are better ways, and we wish the government would get off picking the one horse, which is this sector, which is going to deliver the least of any other potential sectors, and do something about it. What would we do? We would prioritise the clean green economy. This is something PricewaterhouseCoopers has said is worth $22 billion to our economy. The Greenpeace report said we could be saving $600 million a year in electricity. The Pure Advantage report said we could see 50,000 jobs in clean energy. What's the government focusing on? A handful of jobs, mostly for foreigners, when all the profits go offshore. They're picking a horse, they're picking the wrong horse, Mr. Speaker. You can see it in this bill with what they're doing. The whole purpose is about picking winners, winners in the oil, gas and fracking sectors. It's about disempowering communities. It's about the function of the minister, and this is one of the key clauses in the legislation. The function of the minister isn't to be an independent oversight with the best interests of the country at heart. The function of the minister under this legislation is to attract permit applications. I don't know if any other members felt a bit embarrassed that our Prime Minister was off in Brazil grovelling to the Brazilians, hoping that Petrobras would come back. And this is what we're doing, Mr. Speaker, an embarrassing strategy. You can see it with the Schedule 4 decisions, which we're seeing a weakening of these protected...
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallett.
Mr. Speaker, I think a number of us were just tolerating the abuse of comments when we thought they were directed to the member from the Honourable Simon Bridges. But for the last three of the comments, he has directed them to you. Calling you a loser or an empty vessel, Mr. Speaker, I think is not appropriate.
Well, at this hour of the day, that's correct. I just asked members to calm it down. I did have to indicate earlier this dialogue and interjections across the benches. I sometimes can't hear what the member's saying, so please cut it down. Calling up Gareth Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the Honourable Minister is embarrassed. You know, the plan's in tatters. You've got Petrobras walking out. You've got Patchior walking out. Obviously, the mining prices collapsed so much that solid energies and such strife amongst other things, coal companies leaving the country. The whole plan's in tatters, Mr. Speaker, and that's why it's ridiculous we're passing this legislation just to facilitate more mining and gas. We're seeing the weakening of the power of the Conservation Minister, slightly improved in the Select Committee, but not enough, not in actuality. We've got the tokenism and iwi consultations. A couple of improvements, which is the ability to put a moratorium into effect or ban specific mining types, and we've got the SOP, which affects the recommendations of the Royal Commission into the Pike River tragedy. But the fact is, Mr. Speaker, there are better options for this country. I was at the Wind Energy conference last night and I told them, imagine what they could do, how we could get some of those 50,000 jobs Pure Advantage talked about, or the $22 billion PricewaterhouseCoopers talked about, if we had a level playing field. If the government was putting this type of support, not subsidies, just the support they're giving to the oil and gas industry, we could do wonderful things with our clean energy sector, and that's the hope and the vision the Green Party brings.
Sorry to interrupt the honourable member. Members, this debate is concluded. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. A party vote is called for.
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes opposed.
Green Party.
14 opposed.
New Zealand First.
7 votes in favour.
Māori Party.
3 opposed.
Mana.
Opposed.
ACT New Zealand.
1 in favour.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Brenton Horan.
1 opposed.
Members, the ayes are 68, the noes are 53. The motion is agreed to.
Crown Minerals Permitting in Crown Land Bill, second reading.
This bill is set down for committee stage next sitting day. Call on